The key to a successful resume is creating one. The measure of a successful resume is getting a phone call inviting you for an interview. It's not rocket science. It's following some easy steps to ensuring that you provide the right information that will prove to be interesting, informative, and reflective of who you are and what you can do. If you look at the two resumes that are attached here, you can see that they are different, but covering the same material. Which one would prompt you to make a call if you were a recruiter? Did you choose John or Jane? Why did you choose that resume? If you chose Jane, you did so because the resume was more informative, took less time to read, and gave you some really good information. If you chose John, I'd really like to know why. It's important for you to know that there are some facts that don't change. Recruiters spend very little time scanning a resume. Therefore, you don't want to be so original that they don't bother to look any further than the picture that you provided or the font that is so different. You also want to make sure that your grammar is all correct and that everything in the resume points to why they should hire you and nothing else. Don't give them a reason to discard your resume. Now here's where it starts to become important that you follow structure. The resume should be divided into these sections. In the header, your name, number, email address, and LinkedIn address should appear. If you don't have a LinkedIn address, you'll really need to get one because it's important that you provide this. Then there is a summary of qualifications. This will reflect what you will say in your resume and cause people to want to see more. That is defined in the bullets under experience. Your education is important and your current college program should be indicated, and if you've attended any other institutions, those should be also listed if you've received a degree. It's important to show your honors up front because these will reflect immediately what your accomplishments have been and, quite honestly, how many you have. Your experience, of course, is essential, and it's here that the resume gets a bit tricky because it's important to express what you've done in a way that tells not only what you did, but what you accomplished as well. This is not a place for a job description, and we'll talk more about what you need to do in this particular area. Listing the activities that you participate in is also very important and will show how you've used your time both in and out of the classroom and the work situation. And then any relevant coursework that might prompt people to want to know more about what you did, or coursework that will make them feel comfortable that you will know what you're doing, even as an entry-level employee, will be important. This would include accounting courses, IT courses, and anything that you really want someone to know about. The wrap template is based on the structure that I've just discussed, and it provides a working method for putting your thoughts together, but it also helps to provide the right words in addition. The summary of qualifications gets to the important information quickly and markets your strengths most effectively. Since recruiters and managers know what to look for, they are trying to zero in immediately with regard to what they want when they look at your resume. If you don't tell them upfront and personal, you won't be able to get an interview. It is important to use keywords, and so you will want to know as much as you can about the job for which you're applying in order to provide those words, because there are systems in place that will reject resumes that don't have the right words to indicate immediately what someone can provide. So you want to include language from job advertisements and any descriptions that might be in resumes that you have seen. When recruiters review applicants, they ultimately only pick 4 or 5 people to interview, and you want to be one of them. Let's take a close look at experience. What experiences or jobs have you had? It is important nowadays to have an internship. This can usually show that you can work in an environment that might be similar to the one where you're applying. However, if you don't have time for an internship and you are part of an athletic team or in many leadership roles in the university, you would want to show how what you did in those jobs was equal to what they are looking for on the job in question. Basically, for your first job after graduation, companies are looking for people who have shown the ability to perform in 5 general areas. They are leadership, also interpersonal skills, problem solving and decision making, and personal organization. You don't always have to gain the ability to show these kinds of skills only in a job or internship situation. When you're on an athletic team, you must practice a lot of discipline, team play, helping others, and training new team members. When you are in a leadership role in the university, frequently you are managing budgets, you are fundraising, you are doing public relations, and all these things can be communicated in your resume. Be sure to differentiate between work and intern experience, and you can have 2 separate segments, one for each. What you really want to do is focus on the challenge that you face in a particular situation, the action that you took to provide a result. So think about your contributions and successes. If you are in a waitstaff situation, you may get a lot of repeat business from people who enjoy having you wait on them. You may also get the most tips. You could train new employees. These are contributions and successes that reflect your ability on the job. Don't focus on the description of the job, but what you accomplished in the job. State your results in measurable terms so that if you increase your tips by 100% in the second 6 months that you worked, that would be something to measure. Or if you help to produce new business based on referrals that you gained or something else, that would be measurable. So you want to think money, time, and results. The following is an excerpt from a LinkedIn article written by a senior vice president at Google. It is an excellent example of how you can take a general statement as shown in the first bullet and create an informative statement that shows a challenge and accomplishment very easily. One more piece of advice: never put a pronoun in your resume. As far as honors are concerned, it's okay to brag in this section. You want to give information on such honors as Dean's List, scholarships, fellowship, or anything that you are particularly proud of that would be relevant in a business situation. You can use high school only if it's relevant. For example, National Honor Society or Eagle Scout. You want to always emphasize skills that are pertinent to the job. Don't list any more than 5 or 6. If you have more, then there's got to be a different way to talk about them in the resume, and you can ask your consultant to help you do this. If any honor or skill would set you apart, be sure to list it first. Remember, the recruiter does not want to take any more time than necessary. Now, the summary of qualifications is the first thing that someone will see. And over 600 managers have said it's the most important part of the summary. It's interesting to note that only about 5% of resumes contain this section, so it would be foolish not to provide the information here. The summary should reflect what you've said in the body of the resume. If you fold your resume in half, that top half of the page should give the recruiter enough information to cause them to want to see more. That's why the summary is so important. So you want to reference strengths that appear in the experience section, such as leadership, salesmanship, results. And you can say, in bullet fashion, proven result in developing business and increasing sales quotas. So overall, if you remember that it's important to use the summary of qualifications effectively, that you have to think quantitatively about the results you provide, that you make sure to list internships and work experience, that you provide the key words that will link your resume to what the recruiter wants, that you don't make the resume a job description, that you don't forget to list clubs, teams, any experiences that are relevant to the job, that you never put important skills or experience at the bottom of the page, you're going to be on your way to producing a valuable and productive resume. One final and perhaps the most important reminder, please take the time to contact your RAP consultant. This is an experienced business person who can be an invaluable resource for you. They will review your resume, help you to edit it, and refine it so that it will, in fact, be the key to a successful employment search.